Hello, dear children, Namaste, and welcome to yet another session of our terminology series. This is Ambika, your biology master teacher, right here on this super amazing platform, which is Vedantu 9th and 10th English. Well, guys, we've been discussing the most important terms for a few chapters from CBSE 10, ICSE 10, and your CBSE 9 as well. So today we are picking up yet another chapter from CBSE 9, which is Why Do We Fall Ill? All right, so let us start. Let me just make it clear once again what exactly we intend to do in this series. In the terminology series, we are not going to be discussing concepts in depth because we've already done that over and over again, right? Through the several different kinds of series that we've had, Umang, BioBytes, all those one-shot series, VIP series, and all of those. So in terminology, this is specifically a biology series because this is where many children are like, there are too many terms. I can't seem to remember every one of those. So whether you are in class 9 right now or class 10 right now, or if you are just a general, you may be in a different grade and you intend to pursue a career in biology, these terms from each of these chapters will certainly be very, very useful for you to know. All right, because if you aim to have a career in biology, that means you must develop the art, which will definitely come naturally with time. You must develop the art of understanding the root meaning of each of these terms. All right. So to make things easier for you, from the chapter, Why Do We Fall Ill? Today we are going to be discussing some of the very important terms. All right. So as always, here is a positive quote before we begin the core concept part of it. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. So quite often it's only the fear that we feel, it's only the fear that we feel and see for ourselves, right? So probably just flip it over to the other side. Think about it a little deeper. You will find the answers to all the questions. What do you want in life? What do you don't want in life? What do you really want to become in the next 5 years? Something like that. You will find all the answers if you just sit down for 5 minutes and meditate. Think within yourselves. All right. So let us move ahead. For the chapter, Why Do We Fall Ill? Major term that you need to know, most important term you need to know is health. What is health? Yes, health is a state of mental, physical, and social well-being. It's not merely the absence of disease, right? It's a balanced state of mental, physical, and social well-being. We need to remember this, right? Now, what is garbage? Well, of course, about garbage we will be discussing in the chapter Our Environment as well for CBSE 10. But since the chapter Why Do We Fall Ill is largely related to all these things, because garbage creates a lot of problems in the society, wherein it spreads a lot of illness. So it's important for you to know what exactly this is. Trash, rubbish, refuse, or garbage as we call it, all of this refers to waste material which is discarded by humans. Usually in our society, it's majorly due to lack of utility. We don't really have the patience to sit down to think twice about how to reuse something, how to repurpose something, or we're just not bothered at all. It's all taken for granted. We just throw it away once we are done with it, right? So that piles up in the form of garbage. Right? Okay. Now, public hygiene. What is it? Of course, the science and practice of protecting and improving the health of a community. How exactly do we achieve this? With the help of preventive medicine, through health education, by the control of communicable diseases, maybe vaccination, immunization in different forms, and so many things. Application of basic sanitary measures. Lots of things like that. I must say, the last 1 year has taught us a lot about health and hygiene, right? Because of the COVID pandemic, we've learned a lot about simple things like washing our hands, using soap quite often, and just maintaining personal hygiene and keeping things clean in general. We've realized a lot of things about these tiny things and how small steps like those can take us a long way in maintaining good health, right? So that's about public hygiene. Now, disease, dis-ease, right? So what is ease? Ease is like a peaceful state wherein you are completely at ease with yourself, right? So disease is any harmful deviation from the normal structural or functional state of an organism. typically associated with certain signs and symptoms, right? So anything that deviates from good health is called disease. Lack of ease is called dis-ease. Now, talking about signs and symptoms, remember they are two very, very different things. Signs are something that um, always keep this in mind because it's quite often confused with each other, right? So, symptoms are something that only the patient himself or herself can feel. Signs are something that an external, a second person can also feel. For example, a doctor would be able to look for signs, or even somebody else, your parents, your teachers, or your siblings, whoever is there with you, feeling your body temperature. It's a sign of a disease. It's not a symptom because they are feeling the warmth because of raised body temperature. Maybe rashes on your skin, that's a sign, right? So, symptom is something like a headache, something like a stomach ache, which only you, if you are the patient, only you can feel it. When I look at you, I may not be able to judge whether you have headache or not, unless of course you have like a very, very tired face and things like that. But it's not obvious what sort of disturbance is happening within you, right? I can only judge by looking at your face or looking at how disturbed you are, that you are probably not your normal self. That is a symptom because only you can exactly feel what it is. But a sign is something that another person can feel, right? Okay, so these two terms, very important difference between each other. Okay, right. Next one, acute disease, a disease or disorder that lasts a short time. Now, I think one simple way by which you can remember this is acute is short, or if you are a math lover, you know what acute angles are, right? Those angles which are less than 90 degrees, right? Acute angles. So acute is short basically, and chronic would be long term. Acute disease would be anything like what do you say, chicken pox, maybe typhoid, maybe influenza. All of these are examples of acute diseases. Flu or influenza, these are all examples of acute diseases. Even the common cold is typically an acute disease. Okay, right. What about a chronic disease? It would be a disease that occurs over a period of time, may last longer, sometimes even for the rest of your life. So, what are the examples you can think of? Diabetes, yes, diabetes is a typical example of a chronic disease. And then thyroid issues. What else can you think of? Maybe something like filariasis. What is leprosy, cancer? These are all examples of chronic diseases. May last for months or years, or sometimes for the rest of your lives as well. Okay, right. What about fever? Fever is not a disease by itself. Remember this. Fever, we also call it pyrexia, another technical term which refers to fever. It's defined as a temperature which is above normal body temperature. Why does it occur? It normally occurs as a sign which indicates an underlying disturbed condition, right? So it can be because of various reasons. Fevers usually accompany many other diseases in the human body, right? So fever is, remember, it's a sign, it's not a disease. Okay, raised body temperature. Asthma. What is asthma? It's a condition wherein, it's a respiratory condition wherein the airways, your respiratory tract is basically altered. What happens is the bronchial tubes function by permitting entry and exit of air into the lungs, right? This is how normally it occurs. In this condition, what happens is in these bronchial passages, in the air passages, there would be an inflammation. And as a result, this part, this point which is mentioned here, permitting entry and exit into the lungs, would become very, very difficult, would become obstructed. So this is your trachea, which branches out into the right and left bronchi, which enter into the right and left lungs respectively. Now these bronchial tubes, or the air passages in general, when there's an inflammation in them, it leads to breathing difficulties. Such a condition is called asthma. All right? Yes. Now, osteoporosis. Children, to understand this term, it's important or useful to break it down. How do we break it down? Osteo. Osteo would mean bone, right? So osteo would mean bone, and poro. What does pore remind you of? Pore would mean a hole or a pore, right? P-O-R-E, pore. A pore, a tiny hole. So basically what happens is osteoporosis is a condition wherein the bones get degraded. They become slightly hollower than they should ideally be, and this would cause them to turn brittle or easily breakable. Because a lot of bone tissue is lost, bone mass would be very, very low, much lower than it should be, right? So this is what we call osteoporosis, right? Usually it occurs with age in many people, and a lot of reasons are associated with it as well, but this is what it means, osteoporosis. Okay, right. Next one, virus. Well, I think to include virus as a term in this session is probably I'm not sure how helpful it is, because we all know about what a virus is right now. I think in the last 1 year, we've learned all this a lot. Viruses are non-cellular, microscopic infectious agents which can only replicate inside a host cell. Okay, so we know that they are usually as good as a non-living object once they are outside a host organism, but once they are inside, they can be really, really dangerous, right? Then bacteria. Bacteria are other single-celled microorganisms. They don't have a proper nucleus. They are prokaryotic organisms, as we can call them, right? So they have a cell wall though, and they can be acted upon by antibiotics. So there are many bacteria which are useful to mankind. There are many which cause diseases as well. So those which cause diseases, the pathogenic bacteria, can be killed or destroyed by antibiotics. Okay, right. So that's about bacteria. Then coming to fungi. Fungus is a singular term. Fungi is a plural term. This is a eukaryotic organism, which a lot of them cause a disease, maybe directly or indirectly. Many times what happens is they are known for causing a lot of food spoilage and things like that, bread mold and all of those, which grows on stale, rotting food material, because fungi generally like to feed on dead and decaying organic matter. So this is what fungi are. So we also call them saprophytes, saprotrophs in general, because they feed on dead and decaying organic matter, right? Some of them can cause diseases in human beings as well. Protozoa. Now, yet another category of microorganisms, wherein examples would be amoeba, paramecium, so many others which you can think of as examples. Proto, right? Protozoa. So protozoans are those which belong to kingdom Protista. They are single-celled protists, as we call them, and they normally they are eukaryotic. Although they are unicellular, they are typically eukaryotic because they would have a definite cell. As you know, this is what amoeba looks like. And many of them don't cause any disease, but some of them have the ability to cause diseases, right? This is an example of a protozoan, which is amoeba. Right. Now coming to helminth. What is a helminth? Helminths are, if you remember from the chapter Diversity in Living Organisms from your class 9, right? Kingdom Animalia. Under this, there is a phylum. There are two phyla, in fact, which include flatworms and roundworms. Platyhelminths and nematodes. So helminth is a term which we generally use to refer to both these together. Invertebrates, as we call them. Invertebrates are animals which lack a backbone, right? So these are characterized by elongated, flat or rounded bodies. So there can be flatworms or they can be roundworms as well. Flatworm, like the case of tapeworm or planaria, they are all examples of flatworms. Roundworms are also examples of helminths, helminth diseases. They are responsible for a lot of diseases. For example, tapeworm infection, tapeworm infestation, which occurs in a lot of pig meat and a lot of other different kinds of meat. They also have the ability to grow inside the human intestine, right? So these are all examples of helminths. Okay, now children, just to quickly take a break and give you an idea about how you can do your best, right? You may be in 9th standard right now, and you may be going to 10th standard, but to make sure that you are completely prepared to face your exams, whether it's the ninth final exams or the board exams, which you will be facing next year. Vedantu has got an answer to all this. So children, at Vedantu, it's going to be, of course, different from the YouTube sessions because you can be a part of unlimited live classes with fun and high level quizzes. Okay, so you can compete with students all around the world from different parts of the country as well. Interactive replays with live quizzes and leaderboards are going to be a very, very interesting feature because it may not be possible for you as a busy student to attend every session while it's happening live, right? So since we understand that, this feature is going to be there for you. And handwritten notes from your master teachers are going to be available to you in a downloadable format, right children? In-class doubt solving, quality tests and assignments, everything is going to be available to you so that your preparation can be complete. Your learning experience will be complete. And micro courses and crash courses available without any extra cost for those of you registered for this pro subscription course. So how exactly does it work? I will tell you. The link is given down in the description box below. Coupon code is AMBPRO. So keep this in mind. I will just take you through a few steps so that it's going to be easier for you to understand how exactly this works. Right? Okay, so this is where it is. Just a second, children. I will take you down. If you go down to the description box below, right, you will find that, yes, you will find that, so where are we? Go down to the description box which you find below this video. This is the button that you can click on, show more, subscribe to Vedantu Pro. Now, do you see that? The link which is right here. Just click on that link. You will be taken to a new window. A new tab basically, and you can select your grade. So I'll click on 9th grade right now. You can select your target, CBSE 2021. I'll click on this right now, but you can click on whatever is relevant for you. Okay, right. If you're done with 9th grade final exams, absolutely fine. You can check out the details for CBSE 10 2022 because the option was there for that as well. All the details about Pro, what you need to know, the features, who are your teachers going to be, the frequently asked questions, everything is answered here for you. And here is the plan. What do you do about this? All the details are till March 2021. It's going to be costing you rupees 2,000 without any discounts. So once you click on the button proceed to pay, yes, here it is. You can apply the coupon code AMBPRO, apply it, and there it gets reduced to 1,600. So this would include English, social, science and maths, all four together, costing you just 1,600. Okay, right. Now choosing a payment method is completely up to you, which one you want to choose, and you will be done. Now once you are done registering, what would your platform look like? What would the student's dashboard look like? So here is a list of the upcoming sessions and the past sessions which you can look at, and as you can see, the date on which it's actually happened in case it's a replay, the time at which it happened, the replay button is here and the get notes button is here. Everything there in front of you to make everything easily accessible. No confusion, it's pretty self-explanatory, and the rest is up to you. All right guys, so how exactly would it work? I've told you the list of it already, but just to remind you, let me just show you. Yes. So children, here we are. Right, I was telling you about AMBPRO, which is the coupon code, and have a look at this, 1,600. Once you apply the coupon code AMBPRO, this is what you're going to be availing it at, right? 1,600, and that means your per session price would be as low as rupees 8. So no worries in case you want to register for the next year. I would suggest go ahead and take a 1-month subscription right now so that you get a feel of it. How much ever I tell you about what the experience is going to be like, unless you experience it yourself, you're not going to get the actual feel of it, right? So experience it and then decide, because it's very, very reasonably priced, children. Okay, right. So now continuing. What's the next term that we have to know? Kala Azar. Kala Azar is, I would say, the Indian term for a condition called leishmaniasis. Leishmaniasis, or it's also called black fever. Now, what exactly is this? If you think of the word leishmaniasis, you probably guessed it right. It's a disease which is caused by a protozoan parasite, which belongs to the genus Leishmania. So it's a protozoan, like amoeba is a protozoan. Leishmania is yet another protozoan, which causes this slow advancing and naturally occurring disease. So Kala Azar is how we call it in India. Quite popularly, it's known by this name because quite often one of the major symptoms that a patient would experience would be darkening of the skin. That's why the name Kala Azar. Okay, right. So leishmaniasis or Kala Azar caused by leishmania. Acne, what is this? Acne. When I say pimples, all of you would know, especially because teenagers would be easily prone to all this, right? Acne vulgaris is the technical term for this. This is a condition that occurs when a lot of dead skin cells and a lot of excess oil from your sebaceous glands of your skin clog the skin pores. The hair follicles as well are clogged up, and as a result they just swell up to form pimples, right? So we also say that it could be caused by certain bacteria which belong to the genus Staphylococcus. So Staphylococci bacteria can be a major reason for acne, right? Now, sleeping sickness. Now, sleeping sickness is yet another disease which is a protozoan one. Example of a protozoan disease caused by trypanosoma. It's also called African sleeping sickness, the disease caused by trypanosoma. So if not treated properly, it can result in death of the individual. So this is caused by a protozoan, but spread by the bite of a fly, which is called tsetse fly. Okay, right. So this is about it. A vector-borne disease it is. Now, communicable disease, we also call it an infectious disease. Simply put, a disease which can spread from one person to another. That's it. Like the COVID-19 disease, a common cold, chicken pox. These are all examples of communicable disease, or by being bitten by an insect, malaria. All of those. Non-communicable or non-infectious diseases would be those like diabetes, cancer, and all of those, which don't spread from one person to another, right? But the diseases occur by various other reasons. Now, airborne diseases, right? Airborne, so air-bearing, or rather a disease which is borne by the air. Air bears it, the pathogens for it, like pneumonia, tuberculosis, the common cold, and all of this, which spreads through the air. Right? This is what we mean by airborne diseases. So obviously, waterborne diseases would be those which spread through water. Water bears these pathogens like cholera, typhoid, and diseases like that. Waterborne and airborne. So what is a vector? Vectors are also called carriers, like the female Anopheles mosquito, right? Example would be the female Anopheles mosquito and the tsetse fly, which I just told you about, which spreads the sleeping sickness. They are individuals, or rather not individuals, they are, what do we say, carriers, or usually they may be insects or agents in general, which carry around infecting agents, infectious agents. So carriers or vectors spread around pathogens. Pathogen is the organism which causes a disease. Vector or carrier would be the organism which spreads around the disease, right? So female Anopheles mosquito would bite a normal person to inject the pathogen of malaria, right, into the individual's blood. This is how it spreads it around. Deliberately or non-deliberately, we don't know. Okay, anyway, they just do the job of spreading around these pathogens. Hygiene, of course, what could it be? It refers to the conditions and practices which help maintain disease and prevent the spread of diseases. Children, now I'll give you a small homework over here. What are the hygiene practices you guys have been following in the last 1 year? Be very, very honest with your answer. Put them in the comment section below. All right. Now, immunization and vaccination. Yes, of course, good news. That reminds me, the COVID vaccine is finally out, right? Yes. So, immunization is the process whereby a person is made resistant or immune to a particular infectious agent, normally by administering a vaccine. So, what is the difference between immunization and vaccination? Vaccination is a method of immunization wherein a vaccine is administered to boost the immune system, to help the immune system of an individual develop antibodies against a particular disease. This is vaccination. It's a method of immunization. Okay, right. So think about examples of diseases which can be prevented by vaccines like polio, chickenpox, typhoid, so many others, right? Hepatitis, so many others. So children, these are the terms that we've looked at today: health, garbage, public hygiene, disease, acute disease, chronic disease, fever, asthma, osteoporosis, virus, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, helminth, Kala azar, remember black fever, acne, sleeping sickness caused by trypanosoma. What is hygiene? What are airborne diseases? What are waterborne diseases? What are vectors or carriers? What is immunization? And what are communicable diseases? And what is vaccination as well? Right? Okay. So these are the terms, children. Make sure you're familiar with them. And remember the coupon code to check out the link in the description box below, AMBPRO. All right. So that's about it, children. If you have enjoyed this session, please click on the like button right now and please share it with your friends so that they can also benefit from this. Stay subscribed because we will be coming up with more and more useful content for you in the days to come. So until we meet again, what do? Stay happy and stay healthy. That's all that matters. This is Ambika signing off. Bye-bye.